Hello, dear students. Very good morning. I hope all of you are fine at your home and working hard for the success of your result. This is our video lecture of subject economics, and we are running on the chapter number 6, that is unemployment. As as we all know that in last lectures we have discussed about the types of unemployment. That is, first of all, open unemployment, then underemployment, then frictional unemployment, and lastly, in last lecture we discussed about the cyclical unemployment. Today we are going to discuss about the fifth and last type of unemployment, that is disguised unemployment. As we all know that the types of unemployment are on the basis of nature of the economy. It means if the economy is underdeveloped or developing in nature, then we can see underemployment and open employment is the type which are seen in the underdeveloped or developing economy like India, while developed or capitalist economy faces frictional unemployment and cyclical unemployment. And here we are going to discuss about the disguised unemployment. Basically, this type of unemployment is seen in the countries where agriculture is the main occupation of the economy. So let us start discussing about disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment means hidden unemployment. First of all, line this statement. This type of unemployment is very common in developing economies like India. Now, disguised unemployment means hidden unemployment because here we cannot measure the exact percentage of unemployed person, or we can say it is very difficult to find whether the disguised unemployment is there or not, because as it is hidden unemployment, we can't check, that is, how many persons are unemployed amongst all those who are working, and that's why the perfect measurement is not possible, and hence it is hidden unemployment. Next one is, this type of unemployment is very common in developing economies like India. So here it is clear that disguised unemployment is also a type of unemployment which can be seen in the developing economies. So now, out of 5 types of unemployment, first 3, that is open unemployment, underemployment and disguised unemployment, can be seen in developing economies, while cyclical and frictional unemployment are type of developed countries. Now, let us move forward to the meaning of disguised unemployment. In any activity, if too many persons are employed at the given level of technology, and when a few persons are removed from work, the total production does not change, then there exists disguised unemployment. So, first of all, here it is given in a meaning that it is clearly shown that this type of unemployment is very common in an economy like India. In any activity, whether it is farming or production or any kind of other productive activity, if too many persons are employed, it means there is the employment of a person more than the requirement. Here, too many persons are employed at a given level of technology. Given level of technology means the technology is given and it is fixed and cannot be changed within a short period of time. It means when we are using a labor intensive technology and it is prevalent in the economy, then we cannot change the level of technology, or we cannot invent some of the other technology which can be user friendly. So first of all, in any act of the activity, if too many persons are employed at the given level of technology, it means the technology is same and we can only change the variable factors Here the variable factor is persons. And when a few persons are removed from work, the total production does not change. It means at a given level of technology, when we are employing so many or too many persons in the particular task, and when out of that person, if we remove some of the person or few persons from the work, then also the total production does not change. It means that's why it can say that the disguised unemployment means hidden unemployment, because here you cannot predict the exact necessity, or we can say the exact requirement of a person. Sometimes it may happen that there are 6 or 7 persons are working in the field where only 2 or 3 persons are required. And from the viewpoint, or we can say, or it can be seen that there are 6 or 7 persons already employed, but the productivity of all those who are more than 3 persons, because in that particular field there is requirement is of only 3, and all others who are employed, that is more than the 3 persons in the particular farm, are actually unemployed, and this kind of unemployment is identified as disguised unemployment. So, in any activity, if too many persons are employed at a given level of technology, which is very common in the country like India, and when a few persons are removed from work, because at one instance we can see that there are so many persons who are employing or who are working in that particular field or factory or in a production unit. But when we remove some of the person, or we can say when some of the person are on a leave, then also the total production does not change. Then there exists disguised unemployment. Now let us discuss the next paragraph. It could also be defined as, given the resources and technique of production in overpopulated developing economies, agriculture sector has zero marginal productivity, then such countries are said to have disguised unemployment. In relation to above definition, it can be said that disguised unemployment has zero marginal productivity. So now let us move forward. As we have discussed about the meaning of disguised unemployment, one thing is clear, that there are overemployment of a person in a particular task or activity. Now let us elaborate this term in a detailed manner, that it could also be defined as, it means disguised unemployment can also be defined as, given the resources and technique of production. Given the resources means the resources are fixed, like the plant and machinery, the capacity utilization, the layout of machinery, production unit, everything is decided. And technique of production, that is the technology by the way we can producing different kind of unit, is also fixed. But then also in overpopulated developing economies like India and China, we are seeing that both of these countries are highly populated, or we can say overpopulated. So in overpopulated developing economies, agriculture sector has zero marginal productivity. Line this statement. So here the resources and technique of production is same, but as due to lack of infrastructural and other facilities, we are not able to provide employment to each and everyone who is eligible to get employment, and that's why they are moving towards other jobs which can be of a seasonal nature, or we can say that this kind of job is also in the limited period of time, or in the limited number of employees are required. Then also more number of persons are engaged in that particular activity, and hence their total productivity is zero. So the resources and techniques of production is given and is fixed. But in overpopulated developing economies like India, agriculture sector has zero marginal productivity. So agriculture sector is one of the best example of denoting the disguised unemployment. Then such countries are said to have disguised unemployment. So we can say that India is facing a very high level of disguised unemployment. In relation to above definition, that is in relation to the meaning and the second paragraph which has elaborated this thing, it can be said that disguised unemployment has zero marginal productivity. Line this statement. It can be asked either in MCQ or in one-liner. Basically, the disguised unemployment can be asked for 3 marks, and it is a very much important point, or we can say the question of this chapter, because here it may be possible that they can ask for a 1 mark, 2 mark or 3 mark, any of the one question from this disguised unemployment. So here in relation to above definition, it can be said that disguised unemployment has zero marginal productivity. Now why this kind of unemployment is seen in the overpopulated country like India, and what are the reasons behind this? Let us discuss furthermore. In India, population is constantly increasing. Hence, people demanding employment is also increasing at a higher rate. But in India, poor development of sectors other than agriculture puts heavy burden on agriculture sector for employment. If the surplus laborers are removed from agriculture sector, then also agriculture production will not decrease, as the marginal productivity of these laborers are zero. They are said to be disguisedly unemployed. In cities also, in industries and business, this kind of disguised unemployment is seen. Commonly, the business where labor is borne by the families themselves and wages are not paid in monetary terms. In such a case, disguised unemployment takes place. So, here it is given very clearly about all the conditions and why this kind of unemployment is seen in the overpopulated country. Now let us discuss each and every point so that we can analyze the actual problem of this disguised unemployment. In India, population is constantly increasing. As we all know that population is one of the very hard question, or we can say it is very difficult question of a country like India, because on an average our population is increasing by 2% every year. It means every year on an average 2.5 crore people are added to the population. Hence, people demanding employment is also increasing at a higher rate, because all those who are born today will be able to get employment after 15 years of the age, because according to Planning Commission, the age between 15 to 64 is the productive age group. So 2.5 crore who born this year will be demanding employment within 15 years. It means all those who born before 15 years are able to get employment, and they are added to the active workforce in this year. So in India, population is constantly increasing, and hence people demanding employment is also increasing at a higher rate. But every year out of this 2.5 crore, the government or private sector or total country is able to provide employment to only 20 to 25 lakh people. It means on an average every year there is increase in unemployment by 2 to 2.25 crore. But so first of all, we discussed that people demanding employment is also increasing at a higher rate because of the high population. But in India, poor development of sectors other than agriculture puts heavy burden on agriculture sector for employment. As we can see from the data given by the Planning Commission that when it means at the time of independence there were total 72% population who are dependent on agriculture. Day by day this ratio is decreasing, but still there are majority of the population even today is dependent on agriculture. And the main reason behind this is that poor development of sectors other than agriculture, that is either industrial sector or service sector, is not able to grab the maximum number of people, and they are not able to offer the maximum number of employment to the people who are demanding employment. And that's why the total burden of this unemployed people is on the agriculture sector itself. This is one of the important reason where if we can introduce a new and different kind of reforms, and if we are focusing on the development of sector other than or agriculture, then we will be able to provide more employment. But here the case is that due to poor development of sectors other than agriculture puts heavy burden on agriculture sector for employment, because all those who are not able to get employment in any of the other sector are focusing on agricultural sector itself. If the surplus laborers are removed from agriculture sector, then also agriculture production will not decrease. So it may happen that all those who are not able to grab the job or employment in any of the other sector are focusing on agriculture sector for the job opportunity or for the income purpose. But if the surplus laborers are removed from the agriculture sector, it means all those who are above the actual need of this particular employment in agriculture sector, if we remove them, then also agriculture production will not decrease. It means the agriculture production will be as it is, as the marginal productivity of these laborers are zero. They are said to be disguisedly unemployed. Why this happens? Why, if we remove many of them from the job or from the agriculture sector, then also the productivity is same as? Why this happens? Because their marginal productivity in total production is zero, because they are surplus laborers who are not required at all. But when they are not able to get job opportunity in any of the other sector, then they are employing in the agriculture sector, where it becomes overcrowded and their total productivity in total production or marginal productivity in total production is zero. That's why agriculture production will not increase by their addition, or if they removed from the agriculture sector, then also the productivity will not change. It means there is no change in the production, and that's why they can be said as disguisedly unemployed. So, till now we have discussed everything about the disguised unemployment in agricultural sector or in village only. But in cities also, in industries and business, this kind of disguised unemployment is seen. It means it is not the question of only village or of the agriculture sector only, but it is also the problem in cities and in industries and businesses also. Because commonly the business where labor is borne by the families, here borne means they have to bear the expense of these laborers themselves, and wages are not paid in monetary terms. In such a case, disguised unemployment takes place. So let us take one example regarding this so that your understanding will be more clear. Suppose there is one shop in a city area where only the sole owner is managing all the business by themselves. Now after some more years, his two sons joins his father's business. So now in the same business there is three people employed, and that business was totally controlled by a single person before some years. Now in the same business, without any kind of development or modernization or any kind of expansion, in the same business two more persons are employed. Why they employed or why they joined their father's business? Because they are the family members and no physical or any kind of monetary wages or salaries paid to them in case they are working in the organization of their fathers. So it becomes a family business, and initially the business which was run by a single person, now there is 3 person employed, and if we remove this 2 person from this business, then also the total productivity will not change and it is same as before. So in cities also, in industries and business, this kind of disguised unemployment is seen. In industries also we are seeing that some of the laborers or employees are more than actually needed, and if we cut them or if we reduce the employment ratio of them, then also the total productivity will not suffer and it is same as before, because they are overly employed. So in business where labor is borne by the families, it means whether they are joining their father's business or not, the total productivity will be the same. If they joining their father business, then also their productivity is zero, and if they are sitting at home and doing nothing, then also their productivity is zero. So here, if wages are not paid in monetary terms, then they are employing more persons whose marginal productivity is obviously zero, and in such a case disguised unemployment takes place. Now let us discuss one of the example which is given over here about the disguised unemployment, so that your understanding regarding this particular topic will become very clear. Example: if 10 hectare land is to be optimally used, then maximum 5 laborers can be employed. But due to unavailability of work anywhere else, the other 3 members of family also join the same work. But even after they join, the total production does not increase at all. Then the other 3 laborers are called disguised unemployed. These laborers visibly do not seem to be unemployed, but because the marginal productivity is zero, there is a disguised unemployment. So it is the example which is also based on the agriculture sector, because for the best explanation of disguised unemployment, it is inevitable to take the example of agricultural sector. Now let us discuss the example in a detail. If 10 hectare land is to be optimally used, it means if we using the 10 hectare of a land for cultivation, and if we want to cultivate them optimally, that is, if we want to get the maximum benefit from this 10 hectares of land, then maximum 5 laborers can be employed. It means the 5 laborers can optimally harvest, or we can say they can do farming on a particular 10 hectare of land. So there is only the requirement of 5 laborers for that particular farm. But due to unavailability of work anywhere else, the other 3 members of family also join the same work. Basically in village areas, or we can say in villages, the agriculture can be done by the family members itself. And it is very surprisingly that all the family members, whether it is female or male or a children, all of them are helping in farming. So out of the total family member, only 5 members are required for optimally harvesting a land of 5 acres. But due to unavailability of work, it means there are other 3 members of the family who are expecting job somewhere else. But after finding very reasonably, they are not able to find the job in anywhere else. So they also join the same work. Now, in place of 5 employees, there are 8 persons who are working on the same field. As the land area is very high or it is very big, we cannot see that there is a overcrowding. But these 3 persons are unnecessarily employed in the same field where 5 persons can do a job or a work properly. So now they are not able to get a job anywhere else and they join the family business. It is a very common phenomena in a village area. If you visit any of the village and ask any of the person who is residing over there, and if you ask them what you want to do in future time or what you want to become, then they will easily say that I will run my father's occupation, and that is farming. If we ask them that your father is having a very limited land, then he will say that we are 2 brothers and we will divide the land proportionately and will do the farming. And by this way, it may happens that the total productivity of land will also decrease, and by this way, the people are not able to get the full-time employment and they become disguised unemployment. But let us take this example in a proper manner. So now in a land where the 5 persons are required, now working 8 persons on the same land. But even after they join, it is very common phenomena. If more persons are engaged in any of the activities, then total production will increase because now more people are employed. So there is a prop that more the merrier. It means as more people are employed, then productivity should be increased. But here, when even after they join, the total production does not increase at all, then the other 3 laborers are called disguisedly unemployed. So, if the total production is not increasing at all, then the other 3 members who are surplus and does not required at all, then also they join the same business and the total productivity is very less, or we can say the marginal productivity of these 3 persons is 0, and that's why there is no change at all in the total production and they called disguisedly unemployed. These laborers visibly do not seem to be unemployed, as we have discussed in very starting of this point, that is, it is hidden unemployment and you cannot see any of the person who is unemployed here, but the unemployment is there. So these laborers visibly do not seem to be unemployed because they are working hard for increasing the production of the land. But as we discussed that the level of technology is same. It means the area of land is same, that is 10 acres, 10 hectare, whether there is 5 persons employing or 8 persons employing. So due to limitation of that particular land area, it may happens that their productivity is not increasing at all. So visibly they are employed in the field, but because the marginal productivity of these 3 persons is 0, there is a disguised unemployment. So it is clear that if there is a need of 5 persons in any of the work, and if we employed 3 more persons in that particular job, then their total productivity does not change at all, and the marginal productivity of all 3 members who joined lastly is 0, and that's why they are called disguised unemployment. So at one instance they are seeing as employed in the particular field or in a factory or in a farm, but on the other hand they are unemployed because they are not contributing anything in the total productivity. So here we concluding this particular topic and concluding this session 2 till the day, or we can say we have discussed the 5 types of unemployment, in this particular topic. Unemployment, where the people is ready to work at current wage rate and possess qualification of the working too, but do not get job, are said to be fully unemployed or openly unemployed, and it is the characteristics of a developing country. Secondly, underemployment, where laborer cannot utilize their capability fully, or they have to accept the very less cadre job, then it is underemployment. Then next one is disguised unemployment. We have discussed it very detailed in today's session. Cyclical unemployment, it is the case of the capitalist type of economy, and where due to the cyclical changes in the business organization, that is due to the depression or prosperity, this kind of unemployment can be seen in the developed or capitalist countries like America, England, Germany, etc. And last but not least is the frictional unemployment. It is when the production process is replaced by a new production system. Then the units with old production system face economic loss, and the employees who are employing in this particular old technique of production becomes unemployed for some period of time up to they are learning the new production technique. That is called frictional unemployment, and it is very short time of unemployment. So it is all about today's session. From next lecture onwards, we are going to discuss about the causes of unemployment, that is what are the reasons of unemployment that we are seeing in the different countries. So till the day, have a good day. Thank you very much, class.